Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I created the Dickie or the faux shirt that goes underneath the jacket. I created a pattern using the saran wrap and masking tape method on my dress form and cut the pattern pieces out of this black cotton. I also cut a second collar out of some white cotton. And this will be lined with some interfacing just so it keeps its shape and stays in place. And if you're not sure what a Dickie is, it is a partial shirt, basically just the collar and the shoulder pieces of a actual shirt. Since I live in Texas and the coat is actually quite warm, I did not want to die of heat underneath this, so that's why I chose to do a Dickie instead of a full-on shirt. As you can see here, I'm cutting out the pattern pieces. I am actually doubling this up, so it will be 4 for the full front and 2 for the full back. I am extending the front pieces and the back pieces a little bit longer. And the collar pieces, I will be cutting 2 of the black and 2 of the white. The white will be a little bit taller than the black one. And as I said earlier, the full Dickie will be interfaced, collars included since they have to hold their shape standing up. The Dickie will have faux buttons in the front just to kind of act like the reference image. So I did cut some of the interfacing down on the front part since I did not need that there. With all my pieces cut out, I go ahead and start with the collar. I go ahead and give my collar pieces a good press. For some reason I thought this was fusible interfacing, but later found out no, it's not. So I take my 2 layers of black cotton and I add the interfacing to one side of it. I will sew this up on the top portion only. And I do this to the white collar as well. And to cut the bulk out of the colors, I go ahead and take my pinking shears and I will cut that excess seam allowance off of both the white and the black colors. And then I'll turn those colors right side out and I will press them very, very well. And then I will later sew the bottoms of those colors. And now I'm putting those two colors together, marking the centers so that way they line up properly together. And I will sew the bottom of these together so that way the colors are now one. Now it's time to put those aside and I will be working on the main body of the shirt. I will take my front pieces and my back piece and I will actually base this interfacing onto one of the cotton layers. With the basting layer done, I will go ahead and sew up the shoulder seams on both the outer fabric and the lining. With the lining layer and the outside fabric done, I go ahead and take my collar piece and actually center it on the back of the neckline, and I will sew that on to the interface part. I do trim off that excess material that I left in the front because I thought I was going to need it. And then I will take my lining layer and I will actually put it on the inside, and I will attach this to the seam that I created with the collar and the fashion fabric. And then I will flip that all inside out, sandwiching the collar between the lining and the outside fabric. And I will go ahead and sew up the side seams to make it all nice and clean. I do clip my corners and any curves, and I will fold that right side out and make sure everything is pressed thoroughly. To finish off the bottom edge of this, since it's going underneath something you'll never see it, all I do is sew that fabrics together, and then I will serge the edging to keep the cotton from fraying. And since this is supposed to simulate a button-down shirt, I do kind of create a button placket. I will attach this at the bottom just to keep everything together. And then I will create some buttonholes and working buttons for the aesthetic. To create the buttonholes, I just use my handy dandy button foot that I finally figured out how to use. And then I attach some shank buttons for the closures. And I always use fray check on my buttonholes just to keep everything nice and clean. After trying this on, I noticed that when I moved my arms up and down, it did move up and down with it. So I just attached some elastic to the bottom to go underneath my arms. I attached it to the front and the back. And with that, the Dickie is done. It was the perfect plan for this shirt. I actually enjoyed it very much. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.